The Viking Raiders are back in NXT for tonight, and there's all other NXT stuff going on. We're talking all about it right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Mac music.
Not yet.
Oh, it's
I
not?
think it's the trailer one. I think it blends in.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh. That's right. Back in the day, 15-year-old Evan T. Mack, Barry Max yelling, tell him to come home. He's putting down tracks. You'd imagine something like that happened, probably, right? Yes, and we are on NXT After Show. Joining me to my left, the only person right here joining me. Doesn't need an even intro. The Queen of Canada. She's bigger than Kawhi. She's bigger than the Maple Leafs. She is the Queen of Cocoa Butter, and she sells it to you. TK Trinidad.
Wow, the Queen of Canada? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
I don't know anyone else there, so.
Wow, it's just the two of us today. Thanks, Jim, for the intro.
There you go.
Shout out to Barry Mack.
Hey, shout out to Barry, young Evan, old Evan, current Evan. All that. We're here on NXT After Show. Now I feel like this is a big day in wrestling. News online has been breaking, internet's been breaking, talking, so I'm willing to address it. Yes, I'm hosting the show today. That's the big news today, right?
Wow.
Everyone's talking about.
I thought you were going to talk about Chelsea Green being on Women's Wrestling Weekly and all the tea that she dropped today. I thought you were talking about that, but I guess
that's another thing. There's two sides to it, okay?
Where was that press release?
That press release is to be announced, okay? So it's still coming, but two times in a row now I'm in a host chair. I think heel Jim is turning into face Jim. I don't know. The internet might break by the end of the show, but we'll hear about it.
We'll see how it goes.
But yeah, you had Chelsea Green. So tell us about it. Is she back from injury?
Actually, if you watch the shows, because we are doing NXT, that makes a lot of sense. If you watch the show, she was injured, and her wrist thing, you know what I'm talking about, is off. And she hopefully will be cleared in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So, which is going to be great, because I was talking to her about the fact that, we talked about this last week. We were here last week?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
In spirit.
Some form of us was here last week. That the women's locker room just kind of needs to be re-energized. And, somebody different in the mix. And we do have people that are in the locker room, but are not necessarily on the show. Right. So, with the addition of Chelsea Green and even, oh my gosh, his wife, Johnny Gargano's wife.
Candice LeRae.
Candice LeRae. That would, beef it up a little bit more, because I feel like
fresh blood.
I feel like it's losing its luster. So, really great interview. She talks about how she essentially sent an email to WWE NXT saying that, she's done with Impact. And obviously, if you guys haven't called her by now, what does she need to do in order to, show that she's good and she's going to prove it? And she did this email. It's really crazy, because it's like one of those emails where it's like, I don't care what you guys say, I deserve to be here, and I'm going to show you why I deserve to be here. And then within, I think, 4 to 6 months, she got a contract, and that contract
wow.
got given.
I thought she got an email back and forth.
No, well, she probably did get an email, or maybe not. She got a contract that was mailed to her, and she was actually on her way leaving from LA to Orlando, where I believe she lives, or somewhere in Florida. And Zack Ryder, a.k.a. Matt, her boyfriend, now fiance, had opened her mail because they lived together, and it was the contract from WWE. So he sent a screenshot of his face with the contract to her while she was in LA.
That's cool.
So, so many, I'm so happy for her. We had her on last year, and this was before All In. This was before she couldn't announce Lucha Underground, so she was on that as well. She didn't get tied up in those contracts because there was a whole issue with that. So I'm just really happy she came on to do the interview, and then really happy to see what's going to be next for her.
It's cool. She paved her own way. She worked hard, and then, she was smart enough to deal with the contracts too, because that's a whole other business right there.
They were trying to Lucha Underground was trying to sign her to a 3 to 7 year contract,
lifetime basically.
Yeah.
So she
avoided a big one. If she had signed to that, she might not have done All In. And I think right before All In, I think she said either August or sometime that summer. That's when WWE contacted her. So she would have had to try to get out of that it would have been a nightmare.
Smart business, hard work, and that's how you end up right where you want to be. I gotta work on these things. Speaking of work, I almost called them War Raiders. Can we call them the War Raiders when they're in NXT? Because the crowd's chanting it, right?
I mean, the crowd's chanting it. I feel like probably Bosa knows this in the chat, but I feel like they had taped like a couple episodes, and now they're like coming back to tie up loose ends. But it's almost like sometimes the WWE leaves ends that are just like, yeah, it didn't happen. I almost feel like they should just vacated the titles and, just let the other tag teams fight for it and create a whole new thing.
It became confusing. I mean, but I thought it was kind of current because they talked about Percy Watson leaving to pursue other endeavors.
Yeah, but they knew. Yeah. See, that was funny because remember when they announced that? Oh my God, where's my head today? It's been such a long day. Beth Phoenix was gonna be on the announce table. That was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then Percy Watson was like, talked about his release I think like a week ago. So it's kind of like the timing of, I don't know if they had planned it that way or it's just coinciding with the tapings. But you're in good standing with WWE. The fact that they talk about you after you leave, in like we miss you. So that means he could actually come back. Because if they don't talk about you at all, like you never existed, that means
disappear.
Yeah, that means
Leo Rush, what's up?
Yeah, that means it's no bueno for you.
It probably was on mutual terms, and he wants to pursue his career, whatever.
Acting.
Yeah, so hey, let him do it. He's out here now, so
for sure.
Good for him. But yeah, we saw the Viking Raiders. I like how Morrow at least kind of corrected on a name. He made mention of it, not just like sweep it under the rug. Mm-hmm. So I felt like NXT kept it more real than Raw would.
Which is I guess because it's on the network. That's why they can get away with NXT feels like house shows.
Yeah.
Like if you watch the house show, it's like you see a lot of different things that you'll never see on air. So NXT has that vibe to it.
Yeah, it did. So I mean, they're back. Obviously, we knew this is not going to be a long-term play, right? So they're start off the show, give up the titles to Regal, but we get a match. Street Profits, really, of all the tag teams, I know we've been calling for them for a while to get a shot, but here's my problem with that.
Okay.
They have been jobbing, right? Mm-hmm. They have not been going over. It's okay if they were to get the tag teams, but build them up. Don't throw them in from jobbing and losing to now getting the tag team title shots when you have the Forgotten Sons, which I'm glad they involved them in this angle.
Right.
But you had other tag teams who have been over and look good in a tournament. One thing NXT has going for them is that they have good tag teams.
Yeah.
For me, the Street Profits are all the way in the back. What did you think about this?
All the way. I like the angle because of the fact that the Street Profits came out and the war, like they essentially challenged the War Raiders. Whereas if Regal was to sit back and decide, the Street Profits probably wouldn't have been the choice.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a split decision. So it makes sense. And then obviously we see what happens in the end that, it didn't happen, which leaves an opening. I think somebody just said in the chat of like a takeover. So this belt is pretty much vacant. I mean, you might see the War Raiders again. I don't think so, but maybe pretty much vacant. And now the tag teams are going to battle over it. So, maybe takeover is going to be the time where they crown the tag team.
It just seems now NXT was so rich in like talent. Now it's all they have left after all these moves to the main roster. They just have their tag team division. Not even an entire one, because now you have the Viking Raiders out.
Right.
You don't have Ricochet and Alistair. Mm-hmm. You still have some strong tag teams there, but now you see another takeover, and like the tag teams are the major thing in play.
Yeah, I mean, but again, there's a whole locker room that they haven't tapped into. So, we don't know who they might be introducing in the next few weeks. Wait. When is Takeover? Is Takeover coming up this week? No. Okay.
That's not Money.
It's just Money in the Bank.
I think sometime in July or June, sometime around the Saudi Arabia.
Okay, just checking. I was like, wait a minute, I can't. There's like so many events. So yeah, the fact that they have time to kind of build it up, it makes sense with them.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
But here's the problem for me right now with NXT. They were going such a good renaissance, I'd say probably like 3 or 4 months ago when we were talking about it. Now it's like every week I don't know who's on a roster. We see there was a time not too long ago when it was deep. They had a deep roster. You had legitimate title contenders. Now week to week in, we're getting a new person introduced. Some of it has been to injury. My guy Dominic Djokovic,
that was right.
He got injured, so he's out. But we don't have. Look at how many guys. Ciampa obviously to injury.
And June 1st is Takeover. Thanks,
okay,
Bosa.
close enough. Ciampa has gone to injury. Alistair on a roster. Ricochet gone. Viking Raiders gone. I mean, just in
But
the
they
last...
just kind of like re-debuted Keith Lee again.
They did.
So I think...
I mean, he could get a push.
Yeah.
I mean, of all the people, he should get a push now on the roster.
Well, it's June 1st. So that's like 2 weeks. 2 weeks build up to TakeOver. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think, it's TakeOver is almost like the other pay-per-views, right? It's like some pay-per-views are great. Some pay-per-views, like, it's a snooze fest. I think the main thing to look towards is the TakeOver for like SummerSlam.
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah, and I think that's plenty of time to bring the people who are ready, like as far as bring them on the roster, establish the storylines. I think we're going to start seeing new people that are like ready to go. And if they're coming back from injury, a la Chelsea Green, and build those feuds up I think this TakeOver might be a little bit shaky.
It seems like it's going to be a repeat of the New York one, right?
It'll be good performances, just not, heavy on the storyline. But I think the TakeOver for SummerSlam, which I believe is going to be in Toronto, should be a good one.
Should be, but like, I just feel right now we have like 4 legitimate kind of stars of the show of NXT.
Who are they?
Velveteen, Riddle, Gargano, and
Shayna?
Adam Cole.
What about the
and
women?
Shayna? Well, we're talking about the men's division.
Okay.
But Shane, I think women's division is in better shape, especially when they get the injuries back together, and with Candice LeRae kind of getting back in full. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
They didn't lose anyone really.
No, except for Lacey, but yeah.
Yeah, Lacey and
she's been gone for a while.
The one who went over to SmackDown.
Crazy girl.
Just. Internet, help us out.
Yeah.
The page is new with Asuka. Who's teaming with Asuka?
Oh, Kairi Sane.
Oh, okay, Sane. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, she's the only one that kind of left. So I think the women's division's still fine because we thought Shayna would be gone by now.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. I don't know. And well, actually, they did hold back. I think it was Asuka for a while. Even though we thought, they were going to bring her up in order to kind of hold that division together for NXT.
Yeah.
Because that's when they brought up the 4 horsewomen. So Charlotte, Alice, and I think Asuka was in kind of that pack. So they held Asuka back for a long time. And even Amber Moon, they did that for a while as well. So,
she was there for a while.
I mean, I could see they probably holding Shayna there until they develop the women's, like, even though, like you said, the women's locker room is pretty strong. It's almost developed those storylines where if you take Shayna and the crew out, there's still going to be enough of a storyline to carry.
I think the women's locker room needs. I mean, first the main roster needs to figure out where the title is going to be on SmackDown because it's still kind of up in the air with a lot of things. So once they figure it out, then they can bring her over. There's no rush for Shayna to come over.
Well, yeah, I think she'll definitely get lost in the sauce if they bring her to the main roster, just because some folks, their characters just don't carry over, not because it won't work. It's just because WWE doesn't want to do it, and then.
Agreed. But yeah, for the men's side, we're kind of short on talent, at the top, especially recognizable names. With the injuries and the roster moves, I just felt like they should have held off some of the guys still and kept them on NXT.
Well, yeah, Ricochet for sure, because it feels like Ricochet wasn't even there. He was in NXT longer than maybe 6 months. Correct me if I'm wrong. He wasn't in NXT very long, maybe a year. Not to say that he should have stayed down there, but they could have definitely did a whole storyline with him. Aleister Black has been there for a while.
Right.
So,
Aleister deserved to kind of move up. But like the Viking Raiders that we were talking about, they should have still be there.
Yeah, I feel like that the Viking Raiders, they could have held them off until maybe SummerSlam.
Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. So we saw them tonight, one off, I'm guessing, right? We're not going to see them again.
You never know, because they do film in packs. So we might see them like 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah. Speaking of seeing things and people seeing us, TK, tell us where people can check us out and what they should do.
Well, what you should do if you are a fan of NXT, the After Show, then you should hit subscribe, that like button, all that good stuff. Definitely on AfterBuzz and the YouTube page, on iTunes 5 stars, Spotify, all that good stuff, because we are the ESPN of TV talk. And if you want to continue seeing us do what we do, and all of us in our entirety, or 2 of us or 4 of us, or however it comes, keep on liking and subscribing and putting comments down there, because we really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Well done, right there. Speaking of new people, Kushida, I think that's their new guy that's in that.
They've
has
been
a
building
chance.
him, yeah.
They've been building him. He's still very new, but that's a guy we're expecting big things from.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So he took on Kona Reeves. that's
Kohana.
Oh, is it?
I think it is.
Or maybe is that the Hawaiian kind of dude? Or
Yeah, he's been
like in and out. They show him like once every month in a backstage segment.
He's kind of almost like and we haven't seen him on the main roster. E3.
Yeah, he should be in NXT.
Well, I don't know.
EC3, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like his vibe, like, top 1%.
I agree. Yep.
So same type of thing.
He's kind of forgettable, though. It's not going over for whatever. It's maybe not even his fault. Maybe they're just not using or featuring him enough.
Yeah, I liked his promos because he had a promo between him and Matt Riddle a while ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I like his promos. It's just maybe he's just missing certain things in-ring ability.
Maybe he's still green in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's just certain things that they're testing out because with the show that we see, that's more like a behind the curtain thing. So we're kind of privileged to see that versus dark matches. So they're just giving us the bonus of the promos and all this other stuff. So I think he'll do well.
He has a chance. It's still a long way to go. What do you think about Kushida so far?
He's really good.
Mm-hmm.
He's I would say within by the next WrestleMania, he might be on the main roster, or at least 205, one of the two.
He's got a gimmick, a cool one too. He can wrestle. The only problem here is the language thing. We know Vince has a thing against that, right?
Yeah, but look at Asuka.
But she's not over as the way she should be.
Well, that was WWE. That wasn't Asuka, and that wasn't a language thing.
Okay, that's fair enough. But we've seen in the past where language has been, and it is a big factor if you want to cut promos and be over that way. A gimmick can only get you that far.
Yeah, but look at Zelina and oh my God,
Andrade.
Yeah, like he just spoke maybe for the second or third time recently in the last couple weeks. Just throw them with the manager. Like they're gonna have to learn eventually.
Totally.
But
like Paige is managing now.
Exactly.
Yeah, Asuka. And that makes
so
sense.
I mean, if they have the talent and they can carry, because Asuka, when she came up to the main roster, people were loving her and she wasn't talking at all.
Right.
It's just
But
recently.
her character, the thing is, their gimmicks are over to the point where they can get you over without talking for a while.
Right.
They're cool enough. Like even Shinsuke, right? The song got him over in a lot of ways, and just his whole
and
shtick.
then with them, both of them, WWE destroyed their gimmick.
Right. They
Like,
turned
they didn't
Shinsuke heel. They didn't let the crowd roll with it.
Well, he never ended up getting the belt. Like, it's one of those
Yeah.
things where certain people that when they come over from NXT, because they started in NXT at such a high level anyway, when they finally cross over, it's like, this is supposed to happen. Like, this person's supposed to be crowd. Like, give them a feud, but this is what's supposed to happen eventually within that year. And then Asuka having Charlotte destroy her thing and is just like a toss away. It was
I just hope we don't have. I hope he gets over because we've seen the Hideo Itomis and guys that have been coming over from Japan. They're highly touted and have talent, just never find their way. I hope he gets over because there's talent there for sure. He's got the look. He's got the gimmick. Let him get a chance, and you don't need to push him right away to the top for fighting for a North American Championship or the NXT title. You can just build him every week, have him pick up wins. So far, they're doing a good job, but it's early on.
So you in the chat is saying that Asuka. I'm like, there's so many people talking here. Asuka can speak English. She doesn't speak it. They don't let her. So yeah, we have seen her speak.
Yeah, she said some words.
Yeah,
I remember.
it's not to say she doesn't know the language or she doesn't understand. It's just that, if she's cutting a promo, it's just like sometimes it's a bit choppy.
Yeah.
So that's more of it. So, both Asuka and Kairi saying we know they could, well, I know.
And even Shinsuke.
Yeah, they can speak English. It's just, it's broken. So, and that's the thing too. If you're going to build up these superstars, then at least give them a chance to do it in the ring or do it in promos so they can build up this skill. Because you don't, then you don't get better.
I wonder if Charlotte speaks to Andrade in Spanish. How does that communication?
So many WWE relationships. It's crazy.
Know. That's something. But so far so good. I like the Marty McFly Back to Future. It actually works, that gimmick.
Yeah,
it's cool for him.
It works.
I think certain people can pull it out, but certain probably couldn't. He could. Then we see a women's match. Jessie, I think it's like I saw her for the first time.
She was on Mae Young this last Mae Young.
And Vanessa Bourne. Vanessa Bourne actually gets a win, which is congratulations, Vanessa Bourne. That's a rare sight.
Oh man, I don't know. Like, how do you the frustration of finally
She's
getting
been patient.
She
She's been
has.
patient for sure.
finally getting to, this place that is your dream, and knowing that well, I don't know, maybe she thinks her character is clicking, but knowing that, to me, it's like her character's just not clicking, and you see somebody like a Ricochet who
Right.
comes in and is there for all of 15 seconds and now is on the
takes
main
over.
roster.
Yeah.
So kudos to her for being patient. And yeah, she does get the win, but again, it's one of those things where we know Bianca Belair's gimmick, her thing. Even Mia Yim is kind of developing like her thing. Like
Yep.
we see certain people, Shayna, like her thing. With Vanessa, like I don't really see what her thing is. And I think
her
they
thing
said
is
they're
just
the
being
Mean Girls.
attached to, like the Mean Girls kind of thing, but none of them are over.
Right.
Neither of them.
Yeah, but if you're gonna be a mean girl, like I feel then you need to be
They need promos. They need promos to help support that.
yeah,
Every
like
week.
challenging certain people. Like if it's almost like the guys who were doing the fashion police.
Right.
Like
yeah.
almost like talking to
Fandango
people
and
about
Breeze.
talking about their fashion, how terrible it is. Like something they haven't cut
And it could be
promos in a minute.
doable. It could be
Yeah.
really doable. Just cut even backstage promos. You don't
Yeah.
even need a vignette or anything like
Yeah.
that. It just, they kind of like, well, we have a Mean Girls gimmick, but you don't see it. She just comes out
Yeah.
to the ring, wrestles, and that's it.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Jessie? I'm a fan.
Of course you are.
5'10", and
my
looks
God.
good in the ring, and
She's good. She had a really great performance in Mae Young. It's kind of almost Bailey-esque.
I was Bailey light,
Yeah.
right? I was just she comes out and like even hop skips and all
Yeah.
that, like Bailey.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna work for her. Bailey, it works for her, but I don't know. You can do a lot more with this girl.
Yeah, yeah, but the look doesn't tie in with. I feel maybe because we're used to somebody that's gimmick on somebody else like Bailey, where Bailey had the side ponytail and she had things that were more girl-esque, and then Jessie comes in like a two-piece, like a shorts and a tank and shorts
True.
and a sports bra. It's just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But good on her for showing that without having a lot to play with.
True.
She didn't cut a promo. You just had the announcers just saying a couple things about her, and you could see that convey on just how she entered the ring. So kudos to her for doing that.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah, we'll
like to see
see.
more
They
of
have
her.
to do something different. It's because everything is leading to the main roster, so
Right.
something's gonna have to change during her course.
Agreed. And then Street Profits and Viking Raiders.
Dylan Matthews is asking if you are single.
If I am?
Yeah.
Very much so, unfortunately.
You couldn't tell.
Yeah, I mean, every week, who's in my boudoir
my
and all
God.
that stuff. Yeah.
What did you say? Street Profits? Did you
Yeah.
say Street? What about
What'd you
them?
think about their shot tonight and all that?
I kind of almost wanted them to win, because then that would develop a whole new feud of them against other tag teams, meaning that other tag teams like the Forgotten Sons thought they weren't deserving, Street Profits weren't deserving of this match, and now it would have been, now you're taking the War Raiders completely out of it, and now it would have been them essentially battling for what they think they deserve. How it finished, yeah, but again, if there's a takeover coming on June 1st, which is 2 weeks away,
Yeah.
it might lead to another storyline. So
I guess so. And I think the Forgotten Sons got to be involved in this. They were.
yeah, but it's one of those things where there's other tag teams, but they're not on often enough for us to know. So they might be
the Mustache Mountain guys and
yeah.
and
So-
the Birch and the other guy.
So
Right?
you remember more than I do.
Yeah,
So
it's,
it's just,
tough. It's
yeah,
tough.
so it's like one of those things where they might reintroduce these tag teams, and maybe you have like a 3-way or a 4-way or a 5-way for the takeover.
We saw a little interaction backstage. Adam Cole and Roderick Strong going at it. What'd you think? You should separate them? I thought that was a good opportunity to separate them and have a little feud. Or maybe he could turn on him eventually.
But didn't he attack Matt Riddle for him though?
He did, but they
So-
were doing a little spat last week, and
Yeah.
now they're back. They're back on good terms.
Yeah, so it seems I don't think they should break them up.
No. Okay.
I mean, I feel like if you break them up now, somebody's gonna disappear. So they're good as a team or a faction for now. I don't
But
think
the
they should
other
win.
guys are kind of forgettable in a sense. You don't know, like Roderick Strong kind of stands out among
Look,
all of them.
everybody
Adam
can-
Cole really overshadows them.
Everybody can't be Jordan.
True.
There has to
I
be
always say that.
Scottie Pippins. There has to be Dennis Rodmans, and there has to be everybody else.
Yeah.
Who's everybody else? Do you remember? I don't remember.
No.
See?
Some bench guys that had good careers made some money.
Exactly.
But
Sometimes
hey,
you can't. Not everybody could be number 1, 2, or 3.
Johnny Gargano. Okay.
Oh wow.
Tonight.
Where's Evan?
Man, he is just. He's becoming like a producer. I know he's trying to actually be one, and like he's learning. Good for him. Credit for him for learning the producing part of it. And
He's trying to be a producer for wrestling or a producer just in general for like movies?
No, for wrestling. He's doing
Oh.
production like NXT. He's learning from Triple H. And which is smart for him to learn how to be a backstage.
I
and
wonder why that is though.
I don't know. Maybe he realizes his limits now. And
Well, maybe.
But it's
maybe he had a
smart for him.
conversation with somebody and they said, look, we really like you.
he probably has a good wrestling mind, no question.
Right. We really like you, and this path might not be for you.
And so he's learning producing. That's a general
Yeah.
thing. And I just feel like he kind of today was just. He seemed like a manager almost, right? In that little promo he had backstage.
Yeah, he doesn't have. It's one of those things like superstars get to a point where they have a great storyline.
Yep.
And, then you roll back down the mountain. And only having an hour and bringing out different talent and trying to establish other storylines, sometimes there's like nothing for you to do.
Totally.
So, I mean, it works for today, but it was one of those things where it's like time to go and get.
I know, but just with him, he just he comes off soft in his promos.
Yeah, but
you know what I
don't
mean?
like him.
Like he's so soft spoken. He's too much of a good guy. That's why I can't buy him as champion too. That's one of my reasons. He's just too soft. He needs more of a mean streak, or at least when he cut those promos against Adam Cole, that was probably his best stuff. But and the Ciampa stuff, but he's just too soft spoken, and that's just probably who he is. You can't change the guy, but for me, that's why I don't see that star potential there with him.
Well, yeah, that's what I was actually talking to Chelsea about, because she can do both. She can go, heel and babyface, and I don't. And again, it's just the same reference of not everybody could be Michael Jordan.
Totally.
And some people just don't have that. No matter how much you try, some people just don't have that capability. Either, people practice and they get it, or practice and don't get it. People are born with it and they get it, and they don't practice and they lose it, and vice versa.
It's an athlete's mentality. You've been there. You know that.
Yeah, so I think with him, it's just one of those things where, again, maybe that's why he is producing.
Yeah, maybe he's starting to get it. Like, remember, he had that tease on the main roster. All the other guys went over. Ciampa got injured, and he went back to NXT of all of them.
Yeah.
I've been saying it. I mean...
But you never know. They might have a setup for something else, and it looks like WWE is really keen on keeping couples together. And him and Candice LeRae are married. So, maybe they're waiting for Candice to be ready. And, eventually within maybe a 3 to 6 month period, they might bring one up and then the other, or something where it's at least close and not like years apart. So, that's a possibility as well. So.
Yeah, it's good that they're keeping them together, but she needs to be more featured. It's time to, there's no reason to hold her back.
So talented.
Bring her back, have her on the show every week, wrestling being part of the mix. She could be challenging. Why isn't she challenging Shayna?
Wrestling-wise, she could definitely challenge Shayna. Character-wise, I'm thinking of what her character is on NXT, and I can't really think of anything other than her protecting her husband. So they need to. It's either
she's too good for that.
Yeah, either they need to figure something out, or start the promos or like getting her involved,
right,
or something like that, where it's like, okay, now you can kind of get behind her.
Yeah, we're aware she's on a roster, but we don't see her often enough.
Right.
Dun, 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 dun. I heard noises, things that are going on. But yeah, I'd like to see more of her. In that sense, also, that's another person that we're not seeing that could be utilized.
Right.
I don't know if they're holding. Maybe they're building a feud for her.
Yeah, maybe they're building her character.
So
you never know.
That could be something there. Overall, tonight's NXT, it was just...
Do we talk about Keith Lee? Are we talking about Keith Lee?
Oh, yeah. We are going to talk about it. We kind of touched on it. We just went over. It was
Jeez, I guess you're not a fan.
I thought they called him Bologna, but it's Bononi. I thought first of all, yeah.
I did hear that. Is that like, did they say what it was meant for? Or?
Well, he was Brazilian. So he's from
Keith
Sao
Lee's
Paulo.
No,
Cesar, the guy.
Oh,
Keith Lee was
I was
fighting.
like, wait, what?
No, Keith Lee.
I was like,
newsflash. No.
Okay, gotcha.
The guy he fought, I didn't see him before.
I haven't seen him either. And I don't know, let us know in the chat, is he a signee or is he just...
I don't know. That's a good question. So first I thought it says Bonin. I'm like, Celeste Bonen's husband, maybe, or like, you know, Celeste Bonen and Caitlyn previously. But no, it's Bonini, and the way Mauro, I think, said it sounded like bologna. That's how you pronounce it. So I didn't think he made that much of an impact. Keith Lee needs that push now, because if now, then when? You know, it's the time now. Roster's kind of thinning out.
And he has the personality.
He has the personality.
He has the chops.
He reminds me of Big E, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, that like big guy.
Has some comedic stuff
that
to
can
him.
kill you, and he knows he can kill you. Therefore, he's just, you know, living his best life.
Yeah.
Not really worried about, you know, what you can do.
Would you like him more of a heel? Because he can automatically be billed as a heel. He's got to look for it.
He can do both, meaning that, you know, if they bring him out, you know, every week or every other week and establish some type of storyline where, you know, he's taking down these people and then he's not getting the championship opportunity, you know, around SummerSlam time. And then he can turn heel because it's like, okay, I've been nice to you guys. Now I'm literally going to just have to bulldoze.
I've been a company guy. Yeah, I've been winning.
Through this whole locker room to make sure not only that you give me a championship, but I'm going to take it. Like, you can do that, and it's believable if you have the right person doing that, because they've done that plenty of times, and sometimes it works, and then sometimes it doesn't, a la like Sami Zayn. You know? So, you know, but I think Keith Lee can definitely pull that off for sure.
Yeah, I like his. I mean, they had a feud for him going with Dominic, and he got injured. That kind of threw things off for him, but. It's once again Keith Lee, now he's got a moment to shine, so let's see more of him.
You know, him and Gargano could go at it too.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he would definitely be, because just
Gargano versus a big guy, you never really see that. So we'll see how he would handle that. It'd be something new at least, right?
And Gargano could actually, you know, channel like "you're beneath me" type thing, you know. And Keith Lee could be like, you don't really know me. I've been doing, you know, just because, you know, even though they both do.
And then kind of snap in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
You can do
I
something
like
like
that actually.
Well, yeah.
Well, there you go. Ideas for Gargano instead of producing. Hey, we got actually some storylines.
Well, I mean,
for it.
you could do both. If you're there long enough.
No, I mean, good for him. I'm actually happy. Anything in the chat rolling? People are saying things.
Dylan says he likes the War Raiders tonight.
Yep. They're always solid.
Kyle Franklin says Bononi.
Bononi. Okay,
Yes.
that probably makes sense. But it sounds like bologna.
Yeah. Shout out to Marie. We can't. And then Charlene says we can't keep graduating these NXT folks with no future storylines in WWE. It's awful what's happening and not fun for the fans any longer. Yeah, I totally agree with that. We had except for the last kind of batch of people that were great crossover. Lacey Evans, I think, is the only one who's crossed over and has a storyline, and then look where she is now, up for a championship.
Yep.
Everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, Ricochet and Alice had a good intro, but then what?
Yeah,
you know?
but everybody knew that they were going to stay as a tag team.
Yeah.
Now they're separated. I don't know. I didn't get to watch SmackDown this week, but have you seen Aleister Black in a little bit?
Haven't
seen
so,
Aleister Black. Ricochet, he doesn't really have a storyline.
He's been losing now.
Right, but he doesn't even have much of a character. So it's like, okay, well, of course you're going to lose because we don't know why we're, you know, rooting for you or why we hate you. There's nothing with him. So I totally agree with Charlene with that. It's one of those things where you have to have a storyline or have a plan in place. But again, they have so many people
or
in the
a
locker room.
gimmick. Like the only one I could see coming over now that might still work would be Velveteen. But still too early for him. But at least he has a gimmick that could give him a little bit of a head start.
Maybe. I don't know.
But they need him on NXT.
That gimmick is like a 50-50. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't think you're sold on him?
I like the gimmick, but I don't know how it will transfer over to the main roster.
I think more worrisome would be backstage with Velveteen potentially. And then on the main roster.
Yeah, I mean,
with the vets there and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard pretty much everybody that I've heard who's had issues in the locker room that I know of hasn't lasted that long WWE.
Right.
Or, you know, they don't get a push.
Or rub someone the wrong way. You rub someone that's a vet, that's respected.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or it's not even a vet, just somebody who knows somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope the rumors are not true, but, you know, I don't know. We'll see.
You know what we're also going to see? I think it's time for something. I don't know, like...
Oh, wait, hold on for something. Oh. Dylan, sorry.
Thanks, Dylan.
Dylan says Cesar Bonini has been signed to WWE NXT since October 2015. Wow.
Whoa.
Really?
That ain't good. I mean, good for him that he finally got his thing. Wow.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy. And the
That's
fact
a
that thanks
long
Dylan for saying
time.
that. That is a very long time. Please let us know in the chat if he was injured or not, because yeah, I've been watching NXT for a while, not as long as 2015. So obviously you guys should know that, but just in case you don't know, but I don't recall seeing him.
I don't either.
And if he has showed up, then he wasn't very memorable.
Well,
Yeah.
at least this is a chance after all these years.
And then Bosa's saying that Aleister Black has been cutting promos. He cut a promo on Raw.
I didn't see it. When?
I don't know.
Maybe Bray Wyatt. Are we talking about Bray Wyatt here, or what?
Maybe I don't know.
Aleister's Funhouse.
I guess so. But you know, hopefully Caesar does something.
Yeah, Caesar Bologna.
And then he loses to
Stepping up.
Keith Lee. So
Oh man.
Damn.
Keep the faith, my man. That's perseverance and
Yeah, I'm
patience
telling
right
you.
there at its finest.
okay, so let's get into it. We're gonna get into the boudoir real quick.
There we go. I had to get up.
Dylan was just wanting to stop you from dancing. Oh my god. Wow.
I couldn't find a camera today. What's going on here?
So the boudoir is brought to you by Center In Skincare and Candles. If you want to get some cocoa butter, if you want to get some body scrubs, if you want to get some candles, you can go to centerincompany.com to get all that good stuff. And in the boudoir today, Keith Lee. I think this is gonna be the push. I hope this is gonna be the push for him. Vanessa Bourne. Hopefully she does something. They figure it out. And then shout out to Percy for starting a new career.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
And I can vouch for that cocoa butter. It smells good. It really does. So it's all real. And I'm not leaving out. I'm gonna put in Jessie. Jessie makes her debut tonight.
Who said there was never any rules of you putting in anybody in the boudoir? That's why it's called TK's boudoir. In the song, it says TK's boudoir. It doesn't say TK and Jim's boudoir. It says TK's boudoir.
I think it's been hijacked enough times to the point where it's official. Jessie, you're in the boudoir, and Kathy Kelly running around backstage trying to get interviews. Door slammed on her.
Oh
She's
yeah,
working it.
that was really good with
That's
Bianca. I think Mia Yim. I don't know. Her character feels like it's almost a parrot back of Bianca Belair. If you know what I'm saying.
I think I know what you're saying. That makes sense.
So something maybe a little bit different.
They're brewing it between them. Bianca
Yeah.
needs to show up more. I mean, she was so going into that takeover. She was riding high, and then after that loss, things just went downhill.
Well, that's the thing, though. That's enough. I don't think she should have lost. It should have been a DQ, and they could have probably rectified it in the weeks to come or months to come. But and she's still saying it's undefeated, which is kind of delusional. So it's very.
But we're not seeing a ring. We're not seeing her push. We're not seeing a promo. She was on every week.
Yeah.
She was like the mainstay. She was right there at the top.
Yes, I don't. Well, I mean, again, once you reach the top, you have to roll back down to the bottom. Like, this is just, we've seen, it's the evolution. It's only rare that some folks, a la like Roman Reigns, could stay at the top. So maybe they're just trying to find out the perfect time for her, because her and Shayna can't go up at the same time. And if she does go up, the undefeated thing won't play well in the main roster, because she's not undefeated in the main roster.
Yeah.
Right. So they're going to have to find something for her to do. So I think maybe they're repositioning her in order to get main roster ready as far as character wise, because she has the chops.
She definitely does.
So it's just more because look at Amber Moon. She had a great gimmick in NXT, and now she's on the main roster, and it's just kind of like.
It's weird now.
Yeah.
That her gimmick on the main roster, it's there. They carried over the gimmick, but it's not working on the main roster.
We don't see her do promos.
Yeah, we don't see her do promos, so it's just like she comes out with the contacts, in her eyes.
Yeah.
It looks all mysterious and, trying to portray a gimmick, but no one gets it because, what's behind it? You just casual fans like, oh, why is she wearing those contacts? We don't know anything behind it.
Charlene, I guess Charlene wants to add to the boudoir as well. She says Chelsea's in the boudoir. Well, I can definitely second that, fellow Canadian. And then you says she's got to go. Bianca has to go back to the EST of WWE. Yeah, is she wearing that stuff on her clothing? She had EST on her jacket and stuff like that. That might be the better way to go. It's like, okay, I'm no longer undefeated, but I'm still the best
Yeah.
All that stuff.
That was her gimmick, so it's not like you're bringing something new. You're just continuing and bringing up something that she's already established.
Yeah, so maybe that is a good one. Or I said that Dan GMQ. Bianca should pair up with the Street Profits. Yeah, I said that a couple weeks ago. That might be a good.
It might help,
but
both
not
of them.
on a wife thing like Candice LeRae.
Yeah.
More like a
team almost.
Like a team where it's like she'll help them win, and vice versa.
Yeah. That would actually be good. It would give them more screen time, all of them.
And they're married, so it's not like they're boyfriend girlfriend.
Right.
Boyfriend girlfriends, they usually they don't really pair like that. So.
Yeah, no, that's a legitimate thing. I like that idea.
Yeah.
We need to see her more because she was doing good, and then just kind of the rug was taken.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not even seeing Shayna that much either.
True.
So, maybe they are prepping. They're giving other people chances because, again, it's only an hour show. So maybe they're giving other people chances so that, when Shayna does leave, there's not going to be a void. So, and maybe it's the same thing with Bianca. They're prepping. I rather go that route. I believe it was Charlene that said it, that, have them have their characters prepared where even if you are the casual fan, them coming over to the main roster they can get it. Lacey Evans, you don't have to go and watch NXT, her performances from NXT to figure out what she's about.
Yep.
So, that's what they probably should be doing. But, some people have it and some people don't. Lacey Evans looks like she has it all the way around.
Definitely does.
So.
Any news and notes going on that you want to share or talk about, or we got NXT covered?
Yeah, pretty much. Are you asking me if there's any
Yeah.
news? Oh, I don't know. I think I talked about it on Raw with well, this is not NXT. No, yeah, we talked about it on Raw. This is like Raw news. So I guess we can't really talk about it here.
Yeah.
No, I think the setup to Takeover is going to be okay. But like I believe with other,
They still have some time.
they have 2 weeks. So it's not really a lot of time.
Okay, then
Yeah.
they don't. Actually,
So-
I thought it was July, right?
Well, Bosa I believe said June 1st. So if they're correct,
wow.
or if he's correct, then that's like in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Then
So,
they
but
don't have time.
again, the takeovers are almost like the pay-per-views. Every takeover can't be amazing. The takeovers tend to be better than, the bigger pay-per-views, but all of them can't be great. So we'll
They
see.
can't be great, but we can be great. So, TK, tell us where people can find you, where they can get the cocoa butter, the lotions, all this good
If
stuff.
you want some cocoa butter, body scrubs, all that good stuff, you can go to centerincompany.com. You get all that good stuff, or go on Instagram, Center In Company. And you can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. I was also featured in a magazine called Voyage LA, where it kind of talks about my story, getting a car crash, all that good stuff. That's also in my social media as well. So you can check that out at TK Trinidad. And also you can check out my new website, TKTrinidad.com.
A lot going on. She's a busy woman. Car crash. I don't think it's a good story, right?
Well, I'm still alive, so
that's
it's a good
a
story.
good thing in that case. Yeah, but yeah, go check it out, everyone. You can find me at the Jim Alexander,
Oh my gosh.
realtalker.com. That's REEL talker.com. A lot of cool stuff there. And of course, we got to shout out some people here. Shout out to Evan T. Mack doing his thing.
Yep.
Gonna be back soon.
Yep.
And
Barry Mack.
Barry Mack, all the Mack family.
All the Mack family.
Always the Macks. And to my mayor. Tomorrow he's having a rally in Palms, okay? Come out in the Palms area of LA to support the mayor, Flobo Boys.
Lobito!
I've called him the mayor.
You're putting it into
certain.
existence?
I am certain. I am confident. If he loses it, he'll still be a mayor.
Can he? But would he? If he is the mayor, could he come back and do this?
I know, that's a good question. We will have like an actual mayor on the show. How
Yeah.
cool would that be?
I don't know.
We're
That might be the
becoming
exit of
political
Polito.
here, okay? That's it for this week. And you know where to find us. Follow us always. We're out for this week. See you next week, guys.
Ciao, y'all. Shout out to Zeno Hour.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed